Morgana is the second most played support in lower elos and no one is playing her correctly. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build her best AD carry synergies, bad matchups, good matchups in bot lane, and the most important, very special tips on how to play her in-game. There are 3 different Morgana runes pages that you can go. The first one is the Morgana standard, probably the one that you guys are using at the moment. We're going to talk a bit about the pros and cons about this rune page. Then the Morgana versus engage. All right, when do you pick this one? It's also very important, and also the downside and things you have to be very careful. And then for me, the coach K special Morgana best rune page. Okay, let's start with the first one, Morgana standard. So these are the standard runes. With Morgana, normally you want to go Arcane Comet. Mana flow, super important. Okay, why? Because you are very mana hungry champion, and we are going to talk about that in the third one as well. Is that you want to be proccing your mana flows, and I'm going to show you in the playstyle how to do that efficiently. Then Transcendent and Scorch, very obvious. You could go Celerity, can be fine. We're also going to talk in the build that you have some move speed there, and the ultimate gives you the move speed, so you could go Celerity. But secondary, Domination, Zombie Ward, Chip Shot. You could choose Relentless Hunter. You could also do Ultimate Hunter, Double Adaptive, and HP. It's an okay rune page for Morgana, but we can do better, okay? If you want to play this one with Domination, it's totally fine, but I will recommend something different. And let's check it out. You could also go Resolve and bomb plating Revitalize if you are playing more scared, but if you are scared to get engaged on and die and you go bomb plating Revitalize, I recommend you to choose the one that we are going to see right now, right? The Morgana against engage. So you choose Guardian, Font of Life. You could also go Demolish if you want to, Bomb Plating, and Revitalize, right? Revitalize works great with the E and also the supportive items that we are going to buy. That's something that is going to change, and we're going to talk later. And then Chipshot, Zombie Ward, again, Relentless Hunter, Ultimate Hunter can also work. And then for secondaries, you could also choose to go for Biscuits and CTR with Cosmic Insight. But in my opinion, I do prefer to run Domination in this rune page. Very careful with this rune page. Sure, you are pretty tanky or pretty decently tanky, you have good survivability, but you cannot spam abilities in lane. You cannot spam abilities. We will see this rune page as well in action in the later part of the video, but you don't have mana at the start, right? You don't have the mana flow. So be careful. This is a good build for use good E usage, no W spamming, and some really smart Qs. So for example, if you are playing Caitlyn Morgana against Nautilus Draven, this is one of my favorite rune pages, okay? Maybe for lower elos, I would not recommend to play with this. So this is more for advanced Platinum Plus or Emerald Plus, even if you look to play in Master in certain matchups. We're going to talk about matchups later on. I would recommend go for Guardian, but don't spamming abilities, okay? Not spamming abilities, we're going to talk about that. So for me, this one is the best one. I discovered this looking into a OTP Morgana or a Korean challenger player that was playing Morgana a lot. And I love it. I love it. Why? Because we still have the core sorcery rune page that is Mana Flow, Transcendence, and Scorch with Arcane Comet. Great, but we get Precision now. Precision Mind and Ability Legend Haste. So you get CDR and you get Mana Restoration a bit, right? So if we play smart with the Mana Flow, like I'm going to tell you and I'm going to show you, Ability Haste and Adaptive, Morgana has very big CDs, guys. Like the Qs, the E, the Ultimate is very long CD, so it's very nice to have that ability haste, that extra ability haste. And for me, this is the one that you guys have to run in every game, like 90%. No exception. I don't think Domination is that good. With Morgana, you should go Precision. I love it. I have 0 mana problems. And also, I have my CDs very fast, and that's very important with Morgana. Not only I changed the rune page with a bit of precision that maybe you were already doing, but here comes the big change, the big one, the one that you are not doing, okay? So focus and listen. Heal. Heal is going to be our summoner spell, all right? It's not going to be Ignite. Let's forget about the Ignite. I know that maybe you're saying, okay, this guy is crazy. I'm going to run my Ignite with Morgana, I'm going to deal damage. If you want, keep doing it. You will keep losing or not climbing. Why? Because the win rate of Morgana is very low. So let's be useful. Let's be useful in the game. Why heal is better than ignite? Sure, if you hit QW and ignite, maybe you can kill the enemy. Maybe you will kill the enemy. But what is heal going to do more for you? Movement speed when you use your ultimate. Movement speed to hit better Qs. Movement speed to your allies as well, and healing. So this means that you can get 1-2 autos more. Better positioning for the Q as well. Alright? And now, when would I choose Ignite? I would choose Ignite when I'm playing against Yumi, Soraka, champions that are Taric. Against Taric, 100% I will go Ignite. There's some moments, some matchups that you will go Ignite. And one of the main reasons is that you don't have a really good range to use your Ignite. It's like Lux. With Lux, you also want to go heal, and everyone is running Ignite or trying to run Ignite in lower elo. But Ignite is good when you are in closer combat situations, and with Morgana, as we are going to see, you want to keep big distances. You want to keep very big distance because your auto attacks don't deal that much damage, and you only want to go into close distances when you have your ultimate. And we are also going to talk about that. Let's talk about the Morgana build. Very simple. It's not going to be spoiler. If you are here to watch an AP build Morgana support, it's not going to happen. For me, there are better options in support to play AP than Morgana. I think Morgana offers a lot more than just AP, and I think even Enchanter Morgana, it will be way better for you guys to climb in any elo. Enchanter, not Enchanter Morgana, it's just no AP Morgana is better to climb, alright? So let's talk about boots. I thought that Ionian boots, CDR boots was better, but in fact, boots of swiftness, swiftest boots is just way better for Morgana. It's better roam potential, better for the ultimate, just better in general to pick someone off. I think with the nerfs, CDR boots fall off a lot. So let's go with these boots, alright? Now, for first item, we are going to play with Zhonya's Hourglass. That's here, a bit expensive, and or Redemption. Okay, we're going to play with both of them. So when do we build Zhonya's or when do we build Redemption? Normally, it's going to be Zhonya's always, and we're going to look for Seeker's Armguard. So a mini Zhonya's, a mini stopwatch, right? And then from here, we are going to get the AP component for the Zhonya's, and then we just finish our Zhonya's off, right? So it will look like this, right? First item. And then from here, we just build into Redemption with the Kindle Gem, then we build the Forbidden Idol, and then we will go Redemption, okay? So there are some things that we have to pay attention here, and it's going to be our first buys, but we're going to talk about that later, right? Let's finish our build. Then we can go Oblivion Orb into Morelos. That's a fine one. We can do Surelias. And here already, third item as support. You guys know it. It's going to be like Morelo. You can go Mikael if they have CC. And obviously your shield can stop everything. Solari, Surelias are good. It just depends, right? We could look for example, a Solari, Surelias build with maybe the Warstone, all right? So as a support item, what you want to build is... Normally, Zazak is the AP option, but Celestial Opposition. Why Celestial Opposition? Is because, like, for example, with champions like Nico, also Lux in some situations, is you are going to be very melee heavy when you are using your ultimate. So Celestial Opposition is going to give you that mini aftershock. So you are going to be able to survive longer and make bigger plays and even finish your ultimate route. All right, so you have the completed build here. I like Morelos as third option, to be fair. So my build will look a bit like this. So yeah. Why is this better than AP build? It just gives a lot of playmaking potential and just helping your team out, right? And I understand that in lower elo you will say, but my team is not useful. You at least need to hit the Qs, get good roams, and you will win, okay? And Redemption and Zhonya's is very strong items, guys. They are very strong items for skirmishes, okay, early on. So let's talk about first bases. So for first bases, normally you base with 500, 800, 1000 gold. You want to go double tome because you want to go for Zhonya's. Then probably complete your Seekers and Boots, right, at the same time. So it can look a bit like this initially. And from here, probably go to Swifty's Boot and Now you have like kind of a problem of Morgana is that it's very expensive to get to that needlessly large rod, right? The EP component for Zonias. But once you are here, we have to think. If your Zonia, mini Zonia is still active, then you start building for your second item, right? Our second item is going to be Redemption. Sometimes Morello can be fine because they have a lot of healing in enemy team. So you go Kindle Gem already, Forbidden Idol, and if you don't activate your Zonia, then you are fine with this build and you can build into Redemption, right? You could even look to be in a position like you are with this build, okay? Because the Redemption finisher is 450 gold, right? To finish Redemption, and that's a very easy base, right? 450 gold is a normal super base in mid game to late game, so you don't have to worry much about it, right? So you min-max a bit the items. All right, that's it for the Morgana item. Is very simple. You don't want to overcomplicate it. Sometimes you can rush Redemption instead of Zonias, and this is your initial build, which is a very popular enchanter build with other champions like Lulu, for example. Rushing Redemption gives a lot of skirmishing power to your team and gives you a lot of playmaking power and carry potential early on, all right? So this one can also look good, and after that you just build Zonias, or if you want to go more enchanted build, you skip Zonias and just go Surelias, but I will not recommend skipping Zonias at all with Morgana. So after this, let's talk a bit about the AP build, okay? AP build, when would you build AP build is when you need to carry or deal a lot of damage, which I don't recommend picking Morgana for that, but it can be fine, right? Why I don't think it's needed is because if you pair Morgana, as we will see in the next chapter, with the AD carries that she needs to be paired and in the matchup she needs to be paired, then she doesn't need the AP damage because your AD carries and your team are going to deal a lot of damage, okay? So let's say you are the only AP in the team, you drafted Morgana very early, and your team went full AD, right? So you want to go for Swiftest Boot is still fine, CDR boots can be also fine, but I will go still the move speed boots. And then Zazak, first item, I mean the super item, and then you want to go for Liandry's Black Fire Torch, and this will be your build, right? Then you can go Horizon Focus. What is Horizon Focus? I will just type it out. Horizon Focus is this one. And from here, you can go Rabadon, you can go Voice Staff, you can go for any, like maybe you want to go Crypto Bloom, maybe Banshee Veil is also fine, like any AP item, really. This is a lot of gold already. You can go Zonia in between as well, but the core item will be these three items, okay? I understand it's very nice to have a QW and see how people die, but in my opinion, is not the best to climb as a support, okay? If you are playing mid or jungle, I understand you will go for this build, but if you are playing support, again, I will do it really fast. You want Celestial Opposition, you want the Zonias right there, and then you want Redemption. Where is Redemption? Here. This is your core build, and with this build, you are going to be very happy. Oblivion Orb, you throw it there, keep buying your control wards, and now later in the playstyle, you will see how it works perfectly. These are the best AD carries you can pair with Morgana. It's actually more AD carries that I thought about, because I got some games with really bad AD carries, and I thought, oh, Morgana maybe is terrible with a lot of AD carries, but no, not really. So the OP ones are going to be Kaelin, is tier S++, Jhin is really fine. Then Varus, in my opinion, when he's good in the meta, Morgana Varus, like with the ultimate Q and the poke, it looks very strong, okay? It also depends on the Varus build, but it can help these immobile AD carries like Jhin, Ashe, and Varus with the black shield and the extra poke, and also the strong laners, very much, right? So Ashe is also really good here. And then just strong laners like, for example, Draven, Kalista, and Corki, right? Right now, Corki is also strong in the meta, but it depends in a patch, maybe it's not that strong. Now, what else is good? Why Miss Fortune is good? Why Sivir is good? Why RL is good or decent, right? Or why they are strong and this guy is good is because Morgana can also roam very well. Morgana is a champion that works very good with aggressive junglers also. Like, that's a thing, right? Like, if your jungle is playing Viego, Graves, Kindred, Morgana works fine. Enchanters don't work really good with like Lee Sin, Viego. This type of champions want CC. Morgana gives the CC, so you can move with your jungle together and look for kills. You can gank lanes, and Miss Fortune, Sivir, Ariel, they can stay alone, right? So you don't need to be in the wave all the time and just perma bot lane trying to get kills. You can also, you're very versatile in gameplay wise, right? So that's why they work very good. Then I put Aphelios Jinx here because it's true that they are hyper carries and they're not that strong in lane, but Morgana can also like give this like a spell shield, enable them to play the game, and the Q of Morgana is really good to focus the first target, and Jinx wants that, no? She wants the reset on the first target, so Morgana wants to play for first target kills. Then Mei, Kai'Sa, Xayah, they're okay. I mean, Kai'Sa wants to do something totally different than Morgana, even if you have CC, like the range is not the same, so it's a bit meh. Xayah, the only good thing is I would say like Ariel, you can roam, but Ariel is way stronger in lane than Xayah, at least at early, right? So I would say meh, but not unplayable, but I would not like say, oh, Xayah, I'm excited to play Morgana, right? Then I will just not even consider playing Morgana with these champions in bot lane, right? Like they want other stuff. Sure, you could do something with them. I'm not saying it's unplayable, but I would not be a fan of it, right? So I will stick to Morgana playing with these champions right here, and probably only these champions if the matchup in support is bad or the matchup in bot lane is not that good for Morgana, and we are going to see that right now. Support matchups for Morgana. 3 ones, very obviously ones engaged and not engaged, but neutral champions like Braum, Alistar, Rakan that are weak in lane and they don't really want to do much. It's just a neutralizer. Morgana is very good because it denies their engage. Braum doesn't have engage and the other two they do, but it's very straightforward. And with the Q and the E, it works really good. Maybe in some matchups you need to put some points in E, like for example against Alistar, right? Because of the combo, maybe you want to start maxing your E earlier. Then Taric, Galio, Poppy, Zed, they have no engage, so it's very easy for you guys to abuse. Then matchups that are won should be hook champions like Thresh, Nautilus, Leona. Tankens is also very, like you guys were asking me which one is a good champion to play against Tankens. I think Morgana works pretty good, right? If he tries to engage, you just shield. There's no knock up there and you can cage him, get good distance. We're going to talk about that in the playstyle as well. And then LeBlanc, actually Morgana is LeBlanc counter, right? Because you can cage her when she jumps. You just need some skill, right? And at the end of the day, like you are playing a skillful, like a champion that requires some skill because you need to hit your Qs. So against these champions, they are good. And also here we have Zilean and Sona. While Zilean and Sona are here where they are ranged and a bit mage enchanter, they're enchanters, right? They are weak enchanters, very weak enchanters, so they don't abuse Morgana at all. Okay, neutral champions, Rel and Blitzcrank and Pyke are here because Rel can destroy your shield with the E, I mean with her Q. And Blitzcrank and Pyke, yes, you should counter them, but they still have like some flashy plays they can do. They can put pressure on the map. They are hard to follow, like the skirmishes early on they are better, right? A bit the same as Janna. Janna is could be bad as well, but it's fine. You can play it like Janna, Senna, Yumi, Renata. You just have to keep your range and you will be fine. It's not going to be terrible. When they miss position, you can punish really hard, but well. Bad matchups, I would say Karma, Emilio, Lulu, Soraka, Nami. They're enchanters, you suffer a lot. A normal answer to Morgana is Karma, and it's like horrible. It's not that bad. Why? Because you can always like Q her and burst her down with your AD carry, because she needs to expose herself to poke, and it's not the biggest of, it's not unlike big damage compared to the other mages, right? Right here, it's not that hard. It could be hard. Like I understand Karma could be hard. Milio, the thing is that the ultimate gets rid of every root and everything. Like he's really good. And Lux, Brand, any poke mages or any mages, Seraphine also like as the range advantage like Vel'Koz, right, is going to be good into Morgana. The problem with Morgana, she's excellent on these champions. Against these champions, I will always pick Morgana and I will be happy, right? What happens if they pick the other champions and your AD carry maybe is not the best? You are going to suffer. Bad and horrible matchups, I will for sure not play Morgana because you suffer a lot. But you still have the way to come back is that you can always hit a Q and burst the mage down or the enchanter down, or just play with your jungle and out roam as well, the opponent enchanter or mage, and you can make plays, right? So let's say you have, for example, a carry matchup in top, like a skill, like a fighting matchup in mid lane, right? Let's say Silas Jone, things like this, or just do something. Then you can always roam and out roam your opponent and always look for a win. So laning phase would be hard, but map-wise, you still have a chance with Morgana. Okay, we're going to see 3 laning examples, 1 neutral, 1 winning, and 1 losing. So we can see a bit of everything, and I explain you how the runes work and how do you play Morgana in lane. So here, again, not the best queue, but what you want to do, and you guys can check it out in one of my videos or in my channel, there are a lot of examples on how to play laning phase as a support, but in general, what you want to do is you want to control the bushes, right? Because we are winning. I'm also going to start level 1 with sweeper, so we have bush control, right? That's what we want, and that's what we are looking for right now. So this matchup is neutral matchup because I'm playing with Zeri, which is not a great pairing with Morgana, but they are playing Bard, which is like a bit of a weak champion. I got a really good queue here. So I'm going to just play for level 2, hit a bit the minions because I don't have my spell, so that we have already talked a lot of times in this channel. And now I'm going to position in the latest bush. I'm going to use my sweeper to keep pressuring so they don't see anything, and we can zoom them out for the next couple of seconds. Okay, so here I do something that's very interesting, is that I pop my W because we really don't need the E. We don't need the black shield to mitigate any engage. So now you see my mana flow is on cooldown, my comet is on cooldown, and my presence of mind is procced. And what I want to do is I don't want to throw a Q here. Zed is not going to do anything, and I need to spam and get my mana flow. You guys see that I have 50 already because I had 2 times my abilities. So I'm pretty sure I'm holding my Q. Q is pressure and also it's a lot of mana, right? You don't want to be spending all your mana all the time. So when my mana flow is going to come back up is when I'm going to say, okay, now it's time to drop a W here. You see, again, mana flow proc, comet proc, presence of mind is going to give me a bit of mana. I mean, it got a bit nerfed for early game, but it's totally fine. And that's the entire laning phase is going to be like that. If I see an angle to throw a good Q, I'm going to throw a good Q. But I'm not in a rush. Again, thank you for the mana flow. And I just need to do this a couple more times, right? 5 more times, and I will have my mana flow complete. And now I will not struggle so much with mana, okay? Because if you guys throw multiple Qs, then you guys are going to suffer. Here I see Bard that is overstanding, so obviously I throw a small Q, but you see Theory cannot really follow up. So if you're playing Morgana in a lane that is very passive, like mine right now here, then why are you throwing abilities every single time and all the time? Just stay in the same range as your AD carry, throw some abilities, get your mana flow going, stack it. Once you have it complete, you can spam more abilities and threaten a bit more the enemy, right? But because we are not going to accomplish anything here, I'm just going to stay in lane. Zeri looks for a roam mid lane. Sure, she can do that. What I'm going to do, just W the wave, W the Bard. It's not going to push too fast. And she's going to look for a roam. And I'm stacking my mana flow. I really don't care what she's doing. They get a good, they get the passive of Anivia mid lane or the flash of Anivia, so that's perfect. And now Zed is coming back bot lane, and she's back here, and I already have my mana flow completed in my next ability, right? So I'm super happy. We crash the wave or we push the wave. Bard stays and holds it, but we have to base, right? Because if we don't base, then it's going to be there's going to be a problem with Miss Fortune coming back. Here she is. So my Zeri ends up not basing, which is a mistake that she does. But, well, now, this is a bit of outside of laning phase, but this is a pro tip, a very good tip for you guys, and you are here for that, for the tips. So Garen and Gwen is a very important lane. Whoever snowball and whoever kills is going to win the top lane. So I want to make sure that it's Garen who wins top lane, not Gwen, right? So Zeri does a mistake that she doesn't base, and she will suffer for that, but I'm just going to put vision, stay around top lane, and at the end we end up making a play in top, which it gets a bit overstay. I stay a lot of time top, but guys, for solo queue, a tip for you guys is stay in top lane as much as you need if the matchup is important, okay? We end up losing a lot in bot, and I understand that's the case, but for me, this matchup in top lane, Gwen is going to win against Garen, right? I've seen it. Like, I've seen how the Gwen is playing. I see how my Garen is playing. He needs help, right? He needs a bit of, you see how my tower is already 2 plates. I'm not too happy because Zeri didn't base. If she based, we would be in a fine situation. But that's solo queue for you guys, all right? Vladimir got the roam, he got a kill, Jarvan got a kill. We got the crash in top lane, so now the wave in top is fine. I will go back in top lane again, and we will end up killing Gwen again. And now my top lane is not 0-5, and I didn't lose the game. But if I stayed in bot lane, nothing would have happened, all right? Let's go with another example. We have a winning bot lane matchup, so it's the same concept. You want to play very aggressive, or I want to play very aggressive. We started 2-0 because they tried to invade and we killed because we trapped, so I also recommend you guys looking forward. If enemy team is a hook champion, you can always stack on tribus. That's what we did, and we end up getting a double kill, but it doesn't really affect our lane because I mean, it's true they died, but we didn't get the kill. So here I will also review a bit because I'm not like the biggest Morgana player in the world, because at the end of the day I didn't play 200 games. I prepared a bit for this guide so you guys have more information. But here I was hoping for Aphelios to keep running, but because when you throw the Q, that he's going to sidestep it. Of course, this is on my main account. This is around Master Elo right now. So he's going to dodge it. Probably in your Elo is going to keep running. But one of my tips is just walk up towards the Aphelios and just hold your Q a bit more so Kaylin can walk up and this guy has to make decisions, right? I still have heal, I still have flash, so I should not be this scared on what Aphelios does. So I could keep running a bit more. If I hit this Q, he's completely dead. He has no cleanse. So sometimes you will hit and sometimes you will not hit them, and that's what ends up happening in our side, right? So I always like walk up and threaten a bit, and I'm going W second, and I should have probably gone the E because I am playing with Guardian this time around. I'm not playing with I'm not playing with Comet. Why I'm playing with Guardian is because Kaylin doesn't need extra damage with Comet or extra poke to win. We just need to connect one Q into trap combo into kill, right? So that's how you play this bot lane with Kaylin and with a lot of champions that just burst on their own. So I get what's called Demolish, and with Demolish we already almost got one plating. We messed up the wave management, at least Kaylin messed up with the wave management department because she should have stacked waves and we will be in a better position. This is a bit messy at the end of the day, but this can happen to you as well in solo queue, so it's all right that happens, right? So we end up delivering 2 waves into pushing the third one, and now we're going to get the plating. So it's still what Kaylin wants, no? She wants to get the tower. Here, for example, we have 2 traps that are very bad positioned on the lane. We could have trapped the Thresh without any problem. We're getting hit by Aphelios spells, which is not that great. So now we have to respect because enemy jungle could be bot lane, but because we used sweeper before, we know that this is not warded, so we can keep our presence here in the bot lane. I think I end up missing my Q because the minions were in front. I also like had to throw my Q because Thresh was sweeping. So yeah, I was on a timer and I end up missing. So in my opinion, if I played this lane a bit way better, so this is what you want to do. You want to be a bit cocky in front of Thresh because when he throws a spell, you can E. But again, something you guys have to remember when you are playing Morgana is that you want to keep space, okay? You want to keep space. Why? Because if you are too far up, like let's say here, he can just E you, then you have no time to react for your E, and then he can hook you, right? So you can always distance. Distance is key with Morgana, right? You want to keep your distance all the time, all right? Let's continue. So here I is hook. We relieve a lot of pressure. That sense, I go close to proc the Guardian, so he doesn't do damage, but here we end up delivering a wave and we are not stacking. Now, this is a big problem that happens in solo queue, and I'm going to show you how I deal with that, is that I want to crash this wave. Look at this wave. I mean, it's pushing to us, but we can one-shot this wave because I do a lot of damage with my super item, and I don't want to move for an invade. With Kaylin Morgana, you don't want to move for invades. You just want to crash this one, and after crashing this one, you move. And then Wukong makes a bit of time. But Kaylin decides to move. They end up fighting. It's a 1-4-1. They end up killing two players. We end up winning this game very hard. But it's just that here I decide to not move. I just take one plating and say, let's get out of here. I'm a bit frustrated because this is not the best thing to do. And now here comes the heal advantage, okay? Sure, Ignite could have done better in some situations, but the heal advantage is going to give us, again, survivability, right? I'm going to survive this gank. It's Elise, so she can escape, but a lot of people have died under tower with the Q of Morgana. So yeah. So what am I going to do? I'm just announcing that I'm going to roam a bit more. I'm not going to roam now, I'm going to roam later. I think here we end up pushing. Fishing for Qs is fine. Now I'm going to roam towards top lane. Because we have prio, I will arrive not very fast to top, or not fast enough to make the difference. But I mean, Syla is very cocky and he will end up trying to go for me, and I just Q under tower and he dies, right? That is the Morgana specialty. Okay, so here some highlights of how to play against a cocky Aphelios that doesn't want to click the lantern. You put the ping ward on top of the lantern so he cannot click the lantern, and now we end up killing. I'm a bit of an old man. If I should have E myself and it would look way better. So again, if you're on point of your mechanics with Morgana, this looks way better. Here we are playing against Jinx Karma. Jinx is not a strong champion compared to Draven, but Karma is going to be annoying. Why is Karma going to be annoying? Because she's going to be able to contest the wave and push, and she has good range, so she's going to be able to trade on us, and we are not going to be able to do much. We have to connect the Q, but I'm going to show you some windows of opportunity that you have with Morgana in this type of matchups. I noticed in this game that Draven loses his axe for no reason, so I was waiting for him to get 2 to fight, because I think we could do something, but at the end of the day, what ends up happening is that they end up pushing towards us, and we are not able to contest. So I keep healthy, but Draven does not. So again, I'm trying to spam W's so I get my mana flow, and with my mana flow I don't lose too much mana after that, so I'm not spamming. If my mana flow is not up, I'm not using ability. You will see now I will use another W to get the mana flow up. There it goes, and then just chilling, just calm, and just waiting for my mana flow to be there. It's a bit boring. It's not it's not complicated at all, but well, that's what you have to do. And here Draven gets some poke. I try to step a bit up because like I realize here that he's taking too much damage, but I see an opportunity is that Karma is going for a ward and probably a deep ward, and Jinx is staying. So at this moment we punish, and that's what you want to look for when you are in this type of situations. The flash Q of Morgana is pretty good because it's hard to dodge if you don't flash. She ends up flashing, but it's not going to be enough. We are going to finish her off with one auto attack, right? So you need to understand in this type of lanes when you lose, what's your window of opportunity to punish the enemy. We are going to talk about the Redemption Rush. This is the game where we were playing with Zeri. So I decided to rush Redemption because Sidelane is going to be so important. So I'm going out of base and I'm already helping my top lane play with the Redemption. And I'm just going to keep attacking Sidelane, right? Morgana is a great champion to play around Sidelane because you have the CC and damage follow-up with a good carry. So you can be very annoying, and also you can set up like good vision so your carries can keep pushing. Here, of course, we can get the tower. Bard is trying to defend how he can, but well, we just get the tower. Once we get the tower, I will use the standard combo of Morgana, right? The standard combo of Morgana is going to be R once it's rooted into Q. Okay, here I shield the Garen because he's the main guy who's going to do damage. So here we root, IQ, and his CC for a long time. What ends up happening is that he ends up escaping with a bit of HP, and I think I end up getting the kill with the Q. No, Garen gets the kill, I throw the Q, so I could have held the Q a bit longer, and now we are going to get chased. I have to flash because I'm scared of getting one-shot by Talon. And one of the beautiful things of Morgana is this, right? You can Q under tower and it will take forever for them to get out, and you can end up getting a kill. How do I play after that? Is that, again, I'm going to do the same, but in the other side of the map. Look where I'm going. I'm not scared to drop this type of vision, and now I keep putting vision down. And now Vladimir can push to the tower. Vladimir can play for the tower, and I'm just hovering the Vladimir side. I know that they see me a bit, so maybe it was warded. I didn't have sweeper, so we couldn't check. But I'm going to keep playing with Vladimir, and I want you guys to pay attention to this. And you are going to see it in the next clips as well. And this is probably the best thing you can do with Morgana, is you want to play in fog, and you want to play around the corners. You want to play around the corners and around the walls so they don't see you coming, right? So here, for example, the same thing. We try to go for Misfortune. It doesn't end up happening. We're a bit all over the place. Jaron just base, Garen wants to base, Zed is just rotating, and I end up getting a good Q, and with the Q we kill, stopwatch, and now we just reset the aggro. Vladimir resets the aggro with his spell, and we get this tower, guys. This tower is worth 700 gold, right? And I don't mind that much sharing, because we end up sharing at the end of the day, because I need a lot of gold, because you see the base is going to be a bit awkward, because I don't have gold for my second component, right? So here I just decide to go control ward and keep playing the game just normally and wait for that AP component that is very, very expensive. The follow-up, the same thing. I want to attack the other tower. And what do? Here, let's watch it again, because yes, we're stomping this game, but we'll see other examples. Look where I'm positioned, right? I'm not here, and a lot of you guys, I see you are here. Why? They see you here, they can see you. Look where I am. I establish a control ward, there's another control ward here, and here they don't see me. I'm in fog, right? So with being in fog, I'm going to be able to hit all my Qs, and this, I cannot tell you, it's so important to do with Morgana, right? Here we end up, I hit my Q, and now it's going to happen again. I go back to my position. I don't want to hit tower. I go back to my corner and just wait, be patient. Maybe someone comes again. And if someone comes again, I will try to hit the Q as well. You see, Bart is coming. He doesn't expect me there. My Q, that it's the longest route in the game. And I end up igniting, or we end up killing the... Vladimir ignites the Misfortune, and I end up dying, but we end up killing everyone, right? So as a support player, if you end up dying but your team kills everyone, then it's already GG. We got 4 kills and I died. So it's all good, and now I got enough gold for my AP component. So let's go with the teamfight example. So how to play Morgana when teamfight, and this is something that is so needed, it's so much needed. So look the distance. I will replay it later and just get some notes, and I will show you. It goes very fast, but I want you guys to pay attention, because not every fight is going to be the same, but most of the times it should be the same with Morgana, and there's a lot of mistakes that you guys are doing. So we are not that ahead. We are fine in the game, but we are not that ahead in this moment in the game. So now let's pause and let's see how we play this. So we start with the first Q, and we obviously use W on the Q. And then I'm going to use my spell sheet for Wukong, because he's the carry one and he's going to carry the fight and he wants to go in. So I would just use my E for that. Now, look where I am. I still have my mini Zonia, so I could be in and be more aggressive with my ultimate, but I'm very squishy. Morgana is a very squishy champion, and especially if you go full AP, you guys that are crazy and go full AP, you cannot go in and just ult like that. So my second Q is coming back up, so I'm going to use that to throw it out, and once we are winning the fight, I'm just going to look for a beautiful ultimate here. It doesn't need to be fancy, it doesn't need to be an ultimate with 5 players, because right now in 2024, everyone can escape, right? Everyone can escape from the ultimate. So I'm just going to be very patient. So what I want you guys to take away from this team fight is that E usage on the important member of your team, Q spam from far away with a W follow-up, and then you ult when you are able to do it. Maybe you hold your flash and then you flash ultimate Zonias, and then you can disrupt the fight. But don't rush too much, right? Hold your abilities longer, be patient, keep distance with Morgana, and you will fight 10 times better, I promise you. Let me show you the last in-game example. This was a very rough game, and this was a very difficult game to play, and we were behind, and we are going to win a fight when we were in a very bad spot, and how to carry with Morgana later into the game and later into the fights, right? And I will show you right now with this play. So here I end up hitting 2 important Qs onto Wei and onto Karma, and then I'm just going to play keep distance, trying to peel for my smolder. I could have looked for a better ultimate here and a better Q, but well, it is what it is. But I want you guys to, yeah, Wukong escapes, he ends up dying at the end of the day, and it's going to be a good fight for us. But what I want you guys to keep in mind is this one. Again, look where I'm positioned, right? I'm using my sweeper to understand that there are no wards here or here, and now I can look for a Q here. I'm not on vision. Never on vision. I mean, you guys don't see it, but I'm not on vision. Never on vision. All right. So I hit my first Q, and then I'm going to hit another Q running around from max range because they are running into us, right? So here I hit one important Q onto Wei, and then from here, I'm going to just keep my distance, try to fish for another Q right now here. It doesn't hit Real very, very close. In another fight, I did hit Real 2 times because of my positioning, and here, they see me, but I hit another good Q. And sometimes you can reposition with your AD carry and try to look for those Qs. And remember, you want to sometimes flank, get a bit creative, right? We make a pick max range Q or semi-max range Q into ultimate, into kill. And if you do this in late game, you are going to be able to get a lot of comebacks. So Morgana, even if she's very like Q dependent, look for creative ways to hit your Qs and make sure that you can pick off people, because in late game, if you get a really good Q, you're going to be able to win. Like here again, Wukong goes in, we end up killing Wukong, and I'm already throwing my Q into Wei that he's stunned forever. I think we end up killing Wei as well because Viego gets the transformation of Wukong and gets there. So we end up killing 3 important members again on a game that it was completely doomed already, right? So be creative with Morgana. You are able to carry later on as well, and picks, right? You want to pick with your ultimate, keep the distance, and you will be fine. If you want to keep improving as a support and climb the ladder with this role, I recommend you to watch 3 must-know fundamentals to win as a support. It's a very good video. I mean, I made it myself, but I like it a lot. I put a lot of effort in, and there's 3 good tips that you guys can use to win in your solo queues, and also a very good pro tip that I used every single day. So yeah, guys, check it out. Thank you for watching. Till next time.